All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders, GMS Ruel. Peace, salutation, like I came in the four corners, pushing the truth, sincerity. Peace be unto you, and Shalom. All right, this lesson is about keeping the commandments, remembering the commandments. In order to remember the commandments, you got to study the commandments, go over the commandments. That's why one of the laws in the commandments is to talk about them. When thou goest about in the way, when thou sittest down, that's Deuteronomy chapter 6. To meditate about them all day. Deuteronomy 6 and verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up. So talk about them all day. It's hard to forget something when you talk about it all day. You know, there's some people, like it talks about like how in the New Testament, the Gentiles, they're a law unto themselves. So there's a certain aspect that they kind of know right from wrong in a simple aspect. Like they might not know and heard the law about not eating pork, but they was like, hey, I don't think we should be eating that ugly ass animal. There's something about that, you know. So, but for the rest, you gotta actually remind yourself. You gotta learn it. You gotta teach yourself. You gotta teach other people because you just don't. You're not born knowing that something is right and wrong. As much as atheists say, "Oh, I'm born knowing right from wrong." Like for instance, I know it's wrong to kill somebody. All right, right and wrong is not that black and white about killing somebody and not killing somebody. Is it okay to kill a animal for its fur? Is it okay to capture an animal and experiment on it for medicine? Is it okay to kill an animal to eat it? Is it okay to kill a human to eat it? Is it okay to capture a human and force it to use uh force that human being to engage in clinical trials to further advance humankind? You weren't born knowing this, but if you study the Bible, you'll know right from wrong. And the most difficult situations that the law doesn't really expound about right and wrong and, really tough situations, that's where the Most High was there to tell us. The king. Okay, no, we ain't doing this, we do this. Because the Most High deal with the king. Deal with the prophets, and then the prophets will talk to the king. If it's something very, very difficult. All right, how much land do we leave to the heathen when we take their land? We ain't going to know that right and wrong, by studying the laws, statutes, commandments, and know that. But we follow laws, statutes, and commandments, Most High not hiding his face from us, and then we're told by him, all right, yeah, you take their land up to the border of the Arnon River. Or don't go east of Jordan. That's as far as you can go. See how that works? When the Most High don't hide his face from you, you learn, all right, these are the difficult situations. And now the Most High is there. But now, a lot of these difficult situations, we aren't able to ask the Most High and get an answer right then and there from a prophet coming to us and articulating to us a yes or a no. Shall I go to war with this nation? And a prophet to say, yes, Most High is with you. Be not feared. The Most High is with you. You ask right now, hey, is it wrong for me to wage war And I mean, well, in the scriptures, if you read the scriptures, wait on the lamb, so you do know the answer. But if you ask, like, let's say on a smaller level, is it okay for me to take vengeance against an adversary at work? The Most High is not about to give you an answer from a prophet walking up to you and then telling you, yes, it's okay for you to uh, get revenge by doing X, Y, Z. Most High hid his face from us. That's why we don't know right from wrong. And him hiding his face from us lets us know that much more that we don't know right from wrong. We don't. Because there's right, wrong, there's wise, there's foolishness. Because sometimes you can do something that's right, but it's very foolish. You know, for instance, Lot, when the angels pressed up on him, not the angels, he was defending the angels. Slakia, slip of the tongue. When he was defending the angels, and those sodomites pressed up on his door. Now, it would have been righteous for him to go out there and fight them all. Yeah, I'm going to go fight them in the spirit of Yahweh. I'm going to, that would be righteous. He would have died for a righteous cause. But it would have been foolish. Now, would the angels been there? Yeah, the angels right there, but he didn't know that they were angels. He just thought they were men. So the righteous thing to do would have been that. That would have been a foolish thing for him to do. But what did he offer? He offered them his daughters. Now, that was foolish to do, but also it was the right thing to do. It's foolish in the sense because it's like it's your daughters and you're going to have to, if they back alive, they're going to come back in your house and everything like that. And it's going to, marry her off and stuff like that. Going to be real difficult. But it was the right thing to do. It was the right decision to make. Because look what happened. So sometimes the right decision is not always the wise decision. And sometimes the foolish decision turns out to be the right, decision. But we don't know how a situation is going to unfold before we do it. It's hindsight is always to judge if it was someone's right, if someone was wrong. Hindsight, but foresight, do you have that foresight? No, you don't. That's why we got the Heavenly Father and His Son, and that's why we also need Him. Sometimes the Most High will give you dreams, absolutely, about what to do, absolutely. Sometimes the Most High will create circumstances that will force you into a situation where you got to make the decision that He wants you to make, and it'll end up being the right decision. But on our own, no, we are not capable of doing that. Hell no, fuck no, we not. If you look at the Heavenly Father and look at His Majesty, and you think about how we're earth and ashes, you realize, man, I ain't got no business even opening my mouth. You don't know right from wrong. And the thing is, we're being set up to be judges. Judges, bro. Judges. And what are we going to judge according to the law? Not a judging according to somebody's opinion. We're going to have to make difficult judgments. Ain't it beautiful how the Most High is turning this thing around to where He teaching us the laws, statutes, commandments, and then there's a point where we're going to be judging other nations? Because they're going to be sinning. They're going to be going off. They're not going to be perfect in the flesh. And they're going to get their heads smacked in and stomped in if we see fit. Whatever punishment that we deem is worthy. But all goes back to this law. This law is justice. If you follow this law, Matter of fact, this is Sirach 28 and verse 7. Remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the Most High and wink at ignorance. You know, sometimes people do stupid stuff. You know, you're not supposed to ram it down their throat, every mistake they make, if it's a genuine mistake, and basically formulate your whole perspective and paint that man's reputation based off of only his mistakes and not factoring in the good things that man does, you know. And on that note, I hope this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem HaKakwadash, double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel. Peace, salutations, and shalom.